other shows we have for you to enjoy at myclassicradio.net. The Avengers was most certainly not a household name in South Africa prior to the radio series. With no national television service until 1976, the mechanism simply was not present in the country to show television programs to mass audiences. While many other countries reveled in the filmed adventures of John Steed and company, South Africa was not equipped to join in the fun. The series took Britain by storm and made a major impression in the American markets, being that greatest of rarities, a British series given a network transmission slot. However, as a filmed series, rather than a videotaped one, The Avengers was able to gain a modicum of exposure in South Africa through film rentals. Come and listen at myclassicradio.net.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7, with supplies and solutions for every industry, and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Breathe in the bacon, breathe out the bacon. In bacon, out bacon.
Time for bacon. Find delicious satisfaction with the Double Western Bacon Cheeseburger. Only at Carl's Jr. Feed your happy. Available at participating Carl's Jr. restaurants. Price and participation may vary.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
Well, how come you're taking a later train today, David?
Are you trying to get rid of me?
No, of course not. But how come you're taking a later train?
Pass the cream, please.
Oh, here you are, dear.
Got toast in it.
You know, I think you're just doing this to irritate me.
What, taking a later train?
No.
I thought you'd be pleased.
He's telling me why.
Because I want to spend 5 more minutes with you, my love. That's why.
I wish that were the truth. I know better.
It's only 1 year. Yes, it is. I'm skeptical. All
very,
right.
very.
Mm-hmm. And what's the reason, since you know better?
Drink your coffee.
What a bump of curiosity you have.
Well, you are excruciating it.
Thank you.
David, listen, please tell me why you're taking a later train,
You're
please.
going to be awfully disappointed.
Well, any reason is better than no reason. It's almost 8:30 and you're still here.
Will you stop looking at the clock? I have a good 45 minutes before the train.
It is not that I don't love having you here, darling. I just hope you know what you're doing.
Well, I may as well tell you. For the sake of peace.
For the sake of anything, tell me, tell me, tell me.
It just so happens I have an appointment at 10:30 in the Grand Central building, all right?
That's where your train pulls in.
Exactly.
Oh.
Now, there's no point in me taking an earlier train and going all the way to the office and then going all the way back to Grand Central building all within an hour.
No point at all.
So I'm taking a later train. Savvy?
Well, for once you're using your sense. I must say it's unlike you.
What, using my
Well,
sense?
usually you rush off like a man, do things the complicated way.
Like a man? Well, I apologize for my sex.
Oh, you don't have to, darling. Well, what time are you leaving the house?
I told you my train isn't until 9:15.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
Claudia, are you nervous or something?
Why should I be nervous, Heavens?
Search me. I had a feeling all morning that you wish I weren't here.
Oh, nonsense. David, have you felt that?
I certainly have.
Well, don't be hurt, darling. I just want to be sure you're not loitering because you're sick or anything.
Good Lord. Do you always have to think of the depressing side of things?
David,
What are you worrying about now?
I'm not worrying.
That's unusual.
I just wondered if you'd like to drive yourself to the station.
What did you say?
Well, I won't need the car today, so it's all yours. Well, say something.
Sure, I'll drive myself to the station. I don't mind, of course, but I thought that. Well, I thought that.
You thought I'd like to drive you?
Well, I thought you did, but.
Dope. Of course, I love driving you the train, but I have a bunch of things to do, David, and since I'm going to have to start doing them later, I thought I'd just as well better start doing them sooner. So
that's clear.
You can drive yourself to the station if you like, if you don't mind.
I think I'll drive me to the Looney House.
Well, it's almost 9:25, darling, so you better hurry. The Looney House is miles from here.
Strange. I thought I was in it.
Now, listen, Looney, you almost through with your breakfast?
No, I thought I'd have another cup of coffee. You mind? How about you?
Oh, no, thanks. I've had enough. Help yourself, though.
I still think you're trying to keep something from me.
Oh, stop being so suspicious, David. Go on, drink your coffee.
I don't think I like feeling my wife is rushing me out of the house as if she had more important things to do.
You are imagining things. It's just that it's almost 20 to 9, and I don't want you to drive at breakneck speed, will you? I mean, won't you?
No, not if you don't want me to.
Very sweet of you. What are you looking for?
My pipe. I wonder where I left it.
Oh, I think you left it in the living room last night. I'll get it.
Oh, don't bother. I'll get it.
Oh, no bother at all.
I can't remember where I left it.
Well, I'm sure it's in the living room, darling. Now, stay where you are. I'll find it. I'm looking for it, David. Stay where you are, though.
No hurry.
That's what you think. Now, let me see. What was that station? No, it can't be that. That doesn't sound like anything at all. Try 88. Maybe it's that.
As I was saying, Betty.
Oh, this is
yes,
it.
George. Go on, I'm listening.
Quiet.
I was about to tell you about my most interesting visit with the police department yesterday afternoon.
Oh, yes, I want to hear that.
Yes, good. Well, I think everybody else...
Nobody, David. There's nobody here but me. I'm looking for your pipe,
very
darling.
interesting experience.
Having a long time.
I think you must have dropped it
wish
between the cushions or
such a
something,
big
but
place to
I'll
be.
find it. Stay where you are.
I wish I had a chance to go down to that police department with you, George. Tell me about it.
Well, for one thing, do you realize, Betty, that the detectives on the New York police force can identify someone by a mere hair?
By a mere what?
By a mere part of a hair,
Well,
dear.
what do you know?
What do you know?
Yes, sir. If they find a hair in the hands of a murder victim, they can tell the race, the sex, and even the age of the murder.
Oh, it's just not safe to be a murderer these days, is it?
I should say it isn't.
I'm still looking for your pipe, David.
Go on, tell me more. And have some more coffee.
Oh,
Now,
thank you,
don't
dear. I
strain
think I will have
yourself
a
looking,
cup.
darling.
Oh, heavens, David.
I also learned
Oh,
that the police
you're
department
here.
is divided up into...
Well, so that's it.
So that's what?
You are a secret radio listener.
Well, I just thought I'd listen while I was looking for your pipe.
You just thought you'd look for my pipe while you were listening.
Well, what's so terrible about it anyway?
Nothing so terrible about
Of
listening.
course not. Why, millions of people do.
It's just your subterfuge.
My subto what?
You heard me. So that's why you've been trying to get me out of the house, huh?
David, you're dreaming. That's all I
You
can
didn't
say.
want me to know that you were an addict, like dope.
Now, listen, there's no need to call me names just because I happen to turn on the radio to listen to a program. Doesn't make me a dope all of a sudden.
No, not a dope all of a sudden.
Well, at least that's understood.
So now stop bluffing. Admit it.
Admit what?
You want to listen to this? Go ahead. Admit it. This program.
Breakfast with Betty and George?
That's why you wanted me out of the house.
All right, I admit it. There's nothing criminal about it, is there?
No, not about the listening.
Well,
Here, I'll even turn it on for you. There you are. Now listen to your heart's content.
Oh, George, I love policemen. Navy blue. Maybe it's their uniforms.
now, you don't have to be a martyr, David. We just won't listen this morning.
No, go ahead, listen, or you'll never
No,
forgive me.
I'll do without. I'd rather do without than be accused of being weak-minded.
Who are these Betty and George, anyway?
Well, they're married, just the way we are.
What other way is there to be married?
And they're having breakfast, just the way we do.
I suppose they deserve a medal for that, too, huh?
Don't you understand, darling? They talk. They talk to each other while they're having breakfast.
Oh, miraculous.
Oh, you're impossible. Why are you turning it on?
It's a free country. You have a right to listen.
I would very much like to tell you, Betty, and our listeners, what the police protect us from. If you care to listen, they...
Well, don't you want to hear what the police protect us from, darling?
Oh, I couldn't bear your being bored, David.
I'm not. I'm leaving soon anyway. Now tell me, how long has this been going on?
Well, since I found out one morning that they go on the air right after you leave the house.
And you listen to them every day?
Yeah, almost. They have 6 cats. They're terribly nice people. Really, they
You
are.
sound like great friends.
Well, I feel like great friends. Only they don't know me.
It's just sort of a one-way thing.
Frankly, it's gotten to be sort of a disease with me.
Disease?
Like pickles,
Like
you know.
pickles?
Yeah. Well, I mean, after I listened once, I'd just gone on listening. Sometimes they even talk about interesting things.
Well, that is something to look forward to.
You're very superior this morning, Mr. Norton.
Proud of it.
Huh.
But if you feel you're missing something, go ahead, turn it on.
No, I wouldn't put you through such an ordeal.
Now, George, tell me more about the part of the police department that are sailors.
They're still on the same subject.
I knew you wouldn't approve. Oh, well, I guess when all's said and done, I'm just a woman, you're only a man. Well, I'm going upstairs to find your pipe, darling.
You women are all the same. You can't stand a little peace and quiet. Always have to have the radio going if there isn't anybody around to talk to. Yankee Doodle went to town.
Well, George, you must have had a pretty fascinating time with the boys in blue. Next time I'm going to visit the police department, and you're going to stay home.
Oh, you'll disrupt them, so there's bound to be a crime wave in New York the next day.
Oh, you're so flattering, George.
Well, what do we talk about now, dear?
About that dog.
The dog. Oh, yes, that dog, of course. Now, let's see.
If it isn't Mr. Naughton
I only
himself.
turned it on because I thought you'd want to listen.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
of
sure
course, that's
of
the
it.
reason.
Well, it is.
Let me see. I have the information about the dog written down somewhere.
What about what dog?
Well, I don't know what about
Yeah, I
what
put it
dog.
on
You're
the
the one
card.
who's listening. I thought you didn't think it was worth
I have the
listening
card
to,
right here,
David.
dear. Listen.
Oh, good.
Here it is.
Well, if you're going to be snippy, I'll turn it off.
Of course.
Snippy, I'm just delighted to find I'm not the only one who's
The dog
weak-minded
is a Great
around here.
Dane.
Oh, fine.
Great
Oh, you
Dane.
know, one of those great big
David,
dogs.
did you hear?
Gee,
They're
that's
talking
wonderful
about a
dog.
Great Dane. What do you think of that?
Naturally, I heard what they're
Oh,
talking
Oh,
about.
here's your pipe, darling. I
Oh,
forgot.
thank you.
How would you like to have a Great Dane, Betty, my love?
Oh, I'd adore one. They're so big and clumsy.
But
They must have known
Like
Great
our
Dane
sick
personally,
cat.
too, once.
I don't.
Not our sick cats, dear. Our six cats.
Oh, dogs
I
love
think our
cats.
six
At least,
cats would murder
well,
him.
Bluff loves
Anyway,
snakes.
the
I had to write
information
her and
for
tell
our
her. They
listeners
don't.
is, now everybody get this, we have somebody who has written to us who is trying to place her Great Dane.
That's
Oh,
not
Now,
for
she
you.
can no
heaven's
longer
sake.
afford to keep him.
Yes, I'd certainly hate to have to part with
Isn't
Bluff.
that an awful
Eats
shame?
an awful
This
lot of meat,
wonderful
though.
dog.
Well,
Now,
not for a Dane.
she's
just
had to
for
close up
us.
her home, and so she's looking for a good home for her Great
You know,
Dane.
they often do this, David.
Yes.
They
Well, now,
find
the
homes
Great
for
Dane is a very
strays.
big
They
dog,
do
and it's very
sound
hard
like
to take
pretty
care of.
nice people.
They are. They're lovely.
It must be awfully hard on somebody to part with a dog.
Yes, dear, I guess it is. And
Would be.
particularly this kind of dog. From what our listener tells us, he's extra special.
Oh,
That's just
all
special.
dogs are.
That's
Now,
just what
if
I
any
would
of our
have said,
listeners would
David.
like a Great Dane and can afford to keep him, personally, I think that it should be someone who lives in the country with ample space.
Ample space they're looking for.
Well, they are pretty big dogs.
You're telling us.
Oh, I should
So,
say
if
they
any
are.
of our
Why
listeners
Bluff
want this
can...
Dane,
Hey,
Bluff...
shut
I
up, shut up.
suggest
How
they
can I
get
listen?
in touch with us.
Oh,
We are
Mr.
going to be
Naughton.
pretty careful about who we're going to give this Dane to, so writing a letter or telephoning or wiring, won't be enough.
Oh, no.
No, we're going to personally interview anyone who offers to take the dog.
It's very nice of him,
We're
isn't
going to
it?
interview them from
They really
the
care.
point of view of the dog, aren't we, George?
Of course we are, my dear. Now, listen, at our apartment all day tomorrow. So, listeners, if you're interested in a Great Dane, drop in sometime tomorrow, won't you? But remember, you better bring along your recommendations.
Now, George.
Yes, dear.
I would like to tell you about what I did yesterday afternoon.
Oh, me gosh, fellas, girly talk coming up.
Oh. But why'd you turn it off?
Say, David, are we interested in the Great Dane?
You mean us?
Yeah, us.
We have a Great Dane.
That's just the point. We have only one.
Mm-hmm. Well, one is almost too much.
Well, I know, but he's such a lonesome Dane, darling.
Mm-hmm. You're just listening to all those things they're saying about him. He'll just have to stay lonesome if you leave it up to me.
Poor Bluff. Well, yes, I guess you're right, darling.
Mm-hmm. Once and for all, this isn't a rest home for melancholy dames.
Said I guess you're right, as usual.
So no more talk about it.
Not another word.
I wonder if it's a male or a female Dane.
You hear a lot of talk. In fact, you may even do a lot of talking about rising prices. But in a way, the wonder is that anything can still be bought at yesterday's low prices. Take Coca-Cola, for example. It was 5 cents in 1886. It's 5 cents today. And you get the same quality refreshment for your nickel.
Hey, Joe.
You still here, David?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you'd be on your way to the station by now.
Claudia's getting her coat. Say, Joe, do you listen to any of those breakfast programs?
Well, my wife, well, she's just like your wife.
Mm-hmm. I must say, though, that these two people seem quite pleasant.
What I heard of it.
Nice people, Betty and George.
They must be. Trying to find a home for a Great Dane.
That's pretty much what I was thinking.
And I think it's pretty much what Claudia was thinking, too.
You know, it was a lucky thing that I happened to be listening to that part, wasn't it?
Was it? Well, we'll see tomorrow.
Oh, well, I'll miss my train. Say, I'll see you tomorrow, Joe.
Sure thing, David. As I was about to say, every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. These broadcasts are adapted for radio by Manya Starr, and the entire production is supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney. And now, here's a word from your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola.